Hey everybody, we're the Rule of Three, and I'm Sarah.
My name is Rebecca.
And I'm Bethany, and I'm pretty sure I am.
You are?
I always have a confusing... always confused about that for some reason.
Your name?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I
How
always
many
kinda,
Bethany's do you
I
know?
think I wanted another name at one time because I felt like Bethany was a little girl's name. It'll be like forever a little girl, you know?
Well, people start calling you Stephanie. I remember that.
Aw,
I don't think I
poor
like...
sweetheart.
You didn't like it. No.
You're so cute today.
I don't like Stephanie. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of nice Stephanies out there. I just didn't like that people called me Stephanie.
Because your name is Bethany.
Yeah.
Why would they call you Stephanie?
Someone wanted to.
Oh.
I
think
think
it
it was
was a teacher.
because there were Bethany's and she wanted a Stephanie. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is not what we're here to talk about.
But
is
I'm
it?
pretty sure I'm Bethany.
I think it may be.
Yeah.
It's possible.
We'll double check it.
Okay.
And we'll get back to... No.
Yeah. We'll check the record.
The birth records. Actually, my birth record will probably say Baby Palin.
There is no
I had no name for a week.
Nope.
My parents were... That's why I'm confused.
That explains
I had no
so
name
much.
for a week because they were...
Yeah.
They were going between Estelle, which was my meme's name, who passed away before I was born, and my dad wanted my mom to name me Isabel, her name, and
Mom
Mom
was
didn't
against
want that.
Which is a good thing, you know.
Because he didn't really do that with girls.
No.
I don't know. But
I think she wanted it to be individual, you know?
And then, you know, it was between Bethany, Estelle, and Isabel, and they chose Bethany after a week of discussion. So, anyway.
We were pre-picked.
Off of the...
Yeah, we were planned.
We were planned.
That way.
They were between Gene, which I would have been kin to Dad in that way, and then, because his name's Gene, of course. It actually would have even been spelled the same way, but Gene and Rebecca, and they ended up with Rebecca.
And Rachel was in there.
And Rachel was in the pool.
So there were like 3 names in there for you and I.
No, just Sarah Elizabeth.
But they knew exactly what they wanted Sarah to be named.
It's always with the first one. They know what they're doing. You know? No.
Well...
Well, in terms of the name.
The name, they know what they want, usually.
The rest of it is questionable. But, on to the bowl.
On to the mystical bowl
of subjects.
It's too much I can't handle. No.
Well, you
You
better
purified, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Because then we'd have a you chose poorly situation.
We can't
And then my
all
face
under
would
the table.
melt off, right?
Yeah, your face would have melted off
Yeah.
and became a puddle.
We can't afford those effects, though.
Oh gosh. Okay.
What?
Old Disney movie taboos.
Wow.
Or taboo, but
Whoa.
This could go bad very quickly.
Okay. So that is, like, if any of you are, like, born in, like, the 80s or the 90s, you might know about this. And I think it kind of tapered off. It might have been tapering off in the early 2000s. Now, I've heard that they fixed, quote-unquote, certain Disney movies to be more culturally appropriate. Meaning, like, any racist or inappropriate content was edited out. One was a Fantasia that I actually saw, like, a side-by-side of it.
Yeah, I remember.
And they had a very offensive character. Like, this one was about, what are they called? Half man, half horse.
Satyr?
Satyrs?
Satyrs,
no.
I think?
No, satyrs are the goat.
Oh. Centaurs?
Centaurs.
Oh,
I knew it was like,
yeah.
I was almost going to say minotaur, but I'm like, no, that's the bull.
That's, no. I think it's
So they
Centaur.
had one about centaurs, and it was like this beautiful medley, and the centaur couples were, you know, coming together. They had blue, pink, all that. So anyway, they had a black African-American small, and she wasn't even a centaur. She was like a, well, maybe she was. She was a small one, and it was very offensively drawn. I'm not going to go into details.
Right.
So I think that should have been fixed. That's not okay. You know, but I'm not saying it's all inappropriate to fix it, but there's some things I kind of think, I don't know what harm it's going to do, because in my child mind, I fixed it. Like, okay, so I'm going to use this as an example. Pinocchio. So Pinocchio's a big one, because they go to this island. I don't know if anyone remembers this, but if you've ever watched the Disney Pinocchio, they go to this island and they can do whatever they want.
Yep.
Smoke, drink.
Pinocchio was shown smoking a cigar with his friends.
Yeah, that's
smoking
true.
and drinking beer.
Oh, yeah,
now,
they don't allow
I
that.
assumed...
What, they put an XX on it?
Right. I assumed that the smoking I didn't quite know what to do with, but the beer, I thought it was root beer, soda.
Yeah.
Not beer like adults drink beer.
An alcohol beverage, yeah.
But it was beer. Like, later I'm like, oh my gosh, that's beer. And I don't know if they cut parts of that scene or changed some things.
I don't know
about it, but I don't know. It was just not taboo at the time.
Well, they were shown being drunk.
Yeah. And they were drunk.
They were intoxicated. Yeah. And so Disney the Disney now, felt it was offensive, so they did their little repairs on it. So now you cannot buy the original cut unless you buy the VHS. And then I think they do have the original one somewhere. I think you can get it on DVD.
If you bought the video, and I think there was a DVD, like it came out that far where it did get onto DVD, they're more expensive because they're the unaltered versions of the original.
But
Disney.
I do recall another one. The whole movie was Song of the South. I've never even seen it.
I didn't even see it either.
Basically, Disney deleted it pretty much from their archives.
Okay.
You can find it, but back then it was, not considered inappropriate.
Yeah, or racist.
Yeah.
Which is a big
I'm not going to speak to that one.
That's where we get Zippity-Doo-Dah from.
I'm not going to speak to that because I, one, have not seen it, and two, I don't...
Well, I've heard stuff about it.
If it's gone, maybe it should be gone. I don't...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe that could have been the right call. I don't know.
But aren't
I've
there
never seen it.
movies that could be in some ways offensive even now? Depending?
Well, it would depend on the movie. I mean, there are some movies that they're coming out with where, they have white people in it, and it's just absolute ridiculousness, and it's kind of a bit insulting. To get into a little bit more between the genders even, some of these movies they've been coming out with is,
well, I watched
offensive to women,
or
to men, depending, And
I watched an old Alfred Hitchcock movie, and I love Jimmy Stewart, so don't get me wrong when I say this, but I was mad at one point because Jimmy Stewart plays I think it's a doctor and his wife, and they're on vacation, and they have a son.
Oh, yeah.
Well, their son is kidnapped. And he's worried that the wife is going to go hysterical, like the hysterical woman. That was a thing. Like, women are prone to hysteria, and so he gives her a sedative and doesn't, as far as I know, he doesn't tell her it's a sedative. He just says it's I don't know, like a muscle relaxant. I don't remember what he told her. He insisted on her taking it, and she did take it. And then she realizes it's a sleeping pill.
Yeah, right.
And
to knock her out.
I did it, he's telling her I did it because I knew you'd be hysterical and I didn't want you to freak out. And I'm thinking, that's not okay. How is that okay? That's an abusive relationship.
It's okay to give your wife a Mickey,
and not tell her, just tell her it's like a muscle relaxant or Tylenol,
It's not only that, but back then, women did not get to, how can I put this, get in the action, so to speak. It was always male-driven. And I think we both have something to offer to the table.
Yeah, and on the other side of it for Alfred Hitchcock, he did do that Rear Window, and it was also with Jimmy Stewart, where I believe it's Grace Kelly
Yep, that's
goes
right.
to the apartment of her own volition, even though he didn't want her to, and investigates what's going on inside. So that was pretty brave and kind of action-packed for a woman of that
Especially
time.
back then.
Yeah, and so again, I will credit him with that, I think. And that was later, I think. That was the early 60s that one came out.
Yeah,
And the other one was like in the 50s. So, you know, you're kind of getting out of that stereotypical female. But, I mean, it was still bad, but not as it was getting... We're getting to a point there.
I'm just saying I've kind of appreciated that Disney has gone and shown us stronger feminine characters.
Yeah, that's nice.
That can think for themselves and do for themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's nothing wrong with princesses and princes and all of that. That's lovely,
nice.
too.
Yeah.
We can have both.
Well, you know, you have Frozen, where the norm was the prince would come in and save the day. And in Frozen, of course, it was the love of the sisterhood that really broke the curse or the hold.
Awesome.
And I really love the idea of that. I think Frozen was a real icebreaker.
Very funny.
Okay, no.
Very funny.
But the point being is that it was a phenomenal, you know, we've had some really phenomenal movies, and I appreciate what Disney puts out there. And they put out a lot of fun and hope and, you know, love into their movies. And I applaud Disney. They're awesome. And I look forward to the future.
Yeah.
And what else they have to bring without tobacco and alcoholism.
Yeah, we are.
Well, thank you for liking and subscribing. And also, if you want notifications, we've been getting people asking, how do I get notified? There's a little bell right somewhere down in the bottom of the
Near
video.
the subscribe, I think.
Yeah. And you just hit that and you'll be notified when we have a new video. Check out our Facebook page when you get a shot or a chance. And
There's a link in the
yeah, and there's a link in the description below. Thank you for the reminder. Anyways, have a great day, guys, and we'll talk and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.